What up, Pittsburgh Steelers fans? Matty P, Marky D here with another episode of Steelers Touchdown Under. We are breaking down all things Pittsburgh Steelers Ravens. No negative talk here about coaches, firings, press conferences, all of that. You can go somewhere else for that, or you can look at our other content for that. We're keen to talk about how this team can take out a win against the Ravens, can go top of the AFC North. Is it even possible? Mark, before we get into all that, how you doing? How you feeling? Keen to talk Steelers with you.
I'm doing pretty good. And yeah, this will probably be the first time this week that I've actually talked Steelers versus Ravens, because it has been a wild show of everything. A lot of drama going on. And I understand we want to fire everyone, but we know that. So let's move on, right? Everyone knows that. Everyone knows what's going on with Tolman, Canada, Austin, Steely McBeam. Danny Smith is probably the luckiest guy there. No one talks about him, but
no one talks about Steely McMatties either.
Fire Steely McMatties. And we've got Brad Wings back again. So everything's been ever since Brad Wings came back. It's been really strange, and the fan base is really upset and angry, and we get that. But I'm pretty keen for this game because it's Steelers football, Steelers versus Ravens. We get to see it on KO. 4 a.m. It's TJ Watt versus Lamar Jackson. It's Kenny Pickett. Hopefully he can play. I want to see him in there. Will the health-wise he be there? If he can't, does Trubisky go?
Actually, let's start there. That's a good place to start. I mean, you and I could talk about it probably for half an hour on the pros and cons of playing, off an injury and getting into the bye and all that sort of thing. Are you for him playing, or would you prefer they rest him, give him the chance to rest up, be ready for the rest of the season?
Here's how I break it down. If he can move enough to escape how he normally would, and like in a big tackle, then I'm fine. If he can't,
so he's 100% play, then good.
Yeah, even like 95%. But if he's like, he can move enough to get away, but if he can't move where the Ravens are rushing down and it's going to force him to play differently, then I wouldn't play him. And this is going to be something where, yes, the coaching staff will wear this if he's not ready and they do play him, and we'll see if he gets injured again. Then that do you think it's there's smoke, there's fire now? Dude, this is going to be nuts. Like, the whole thing's going to go kaboom like that, because people will be like, well, why'd you play him? But if you can play him, you can play Kenny. People want to give up on Kenny. I don't want to give up just yet. I know he's struggling. He's seeing ghosts out there. He's playing a lot different to last year.
Yeah, but he's got a crap offensive line.
Yeah, and we all thought it was going to be better than last year, right? And maybe
Cola's. That's good. That's a good place to go too. I mean, I've said it all season. It's funny. I didn't think Cole was that good. I got on the Cole train with 2 games to go last year.
Cole train.
All 4 of him on the Cole train. All 4 of him in the offseason, and he's regressed like nothing else. That's why I said to you off air. James Daniels, when he's there, isn't looking good like he did last year toward the last 10 games. Sam Malu, as I said, I think he looks a bit like, hang on, what? And there was I think it was on the Chris Carter show this week, or someone's show I listened to, where they said Steel fans love Sam Malu, and I'm a fan of Sam Malu, but he was the worst offensive lineman on the Eagles line. And the fact that he comes in and we're suddenly like, he's the best one on our line, that ain't a good thing.
Well, you know what's funny is that I think we're so happy to trade away Dotson and trade away Green. Yeah. And now we thought, okay, we should be fine without them. And it looks like we're not. Not saying that they were the best guys there. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Dotson, I think, hurts more than Green. Because that's the thing. You could have put Sam Arlo at right guard instead of. Because I had Dotson. Everyone said Nate Herbie. I've always said Dotson's better than Nate Herbie. And that's true. Like, I was actually surprised with how much they paid Nate Herbie. But let's set you off air. Okora 4 has regressed. He's actually not that expensive to trade away. He was last year. He's not going to be here in 2024. I'm calling it now. When we record this on the 6th of October, it comes out on the 6th of October American time. I'm telling you now, the core 4 is not a Steeler in 2024.
Do you think it's a very mismatched line? Because we've got a rookie now, right? Rookie. We have Cian Miley from the Eagles in first year. We have center Mason Cole, who's regressing. James Daniel injured. Now Nate fill in. Then Chooks has been there for a while. It's a very mixed match kind of line, isn't it? It wasn't like
I would say, it's a bit hodgepodge.
Yeah. Well, when Big Ben, we had our guys were kind of like, you draft a guy each year to kind of build up the line every year. With the Ramon Foster, you had more. Is it? Oh, so not Maurice Pouncey, right? Maurice Pouncey. Those dudes. By the way, I saw a picture of him.
Yeah, how thin does he look?
Yeah. Did we have Maurice or we have Maurice?
We had Maurice.
Are you sure? All right, let's see. I thought it was Maurice.
No, Maurice was the one with the Chargers and Miami.
Was it?
Yeah.
My bad. Let me double check.
I don't know.
You're
I
probably
used to
right.
always get his name wrong.
Oh, is it more? It is Marquise. My bad. Wait. How do you? Oh, okay. Why is it two of them?
They're
My bad.
twins, aren't they?
His name's like my name, except with a UR and an ICE at the end, which is not really the same at all.
For all your premium Steelers content, you can check out Steelers Touchdown Under. Yeah, no, I agree with you. And I think I kind of wonder when Spencer Anderson's going to get a gig. I don't feel we're too far away from that, to be honest.
Spencer Anderson?
Yeah.
Yeah, check this out. If I do this, right? Yeah, look at that. Bang. See that?
No.
Marquise Steelers Nation Oz. He's on the other bottom. My name.
Oh, now I see it.
Easy fix. Yeah, look, honestly, the O-line, it just...
Actually, that's your new nickname. In Australia, that would have... So for everyone out there that's listening, in Australia, that would have earned Mark a nickname. With him getting that wrong, from now on, he would be called Marquise.
It's like the cool way to say it, Mark. Like, Mark's a boring...
Yeah, you're now...
a boring name.
More Ice. More Ice.
Answer me this question, right? Because we haven't seen this. Where's the push?
Sure thing, more Ice.
Did I spell it wrong?
No. It's just that I've got to say it wrong because you got it wrong. You spelled it right.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, where's the push? Why can't the offensive line actually move blokes in front of them? Like, honestly, goodness.
Look, it could be worse. Did you see that the Giants did the tush push and one of their own players? I mean, it's not good. But I know, I agree with you. It's the lines are a real problem. You know what? The other narrative that I find funny is that anytime you say Lamar Jackson's a running back playing quarterback, people go, "No, he isn't. No, he isn't." Well, he's got less yards than Kenny Pickett. For all the Kenny Pickett haters, he's averaging 198.5 yards per game at the quarterback, like throwing the football. Kenny's averaging 200. Yeah, that's a difference of 5 yards. And Najee's averaging 210 yards. Najee's got 210 yards on the season so far with the run game. Lamar Jackson has 220 so far in the run game for the Baltimore Ravens. So this is exactly why the Ravens don't win Super Bowls and they don't go to playoffs, because this guy can't continue this all season. They do have Gus Edwards, who's rushed for 193. Then they have Justice Hill, who's rushed for 83. Our next best guy after Najee is Warren with 84. So our running game's like well behind theirs. But I actually kind of like the Steelers offense going to this game. But I do think that it's important. And I talked about this on the rookie show. For anyone who missed that, I put that out yesterday. Go back and check that out. Broderick Jones and Darnell, with that experience at Georgia, the Steelers, if they want to win this game, they have to run the football. That's the only path to victory.
And their way too. Like, I saw them working out together, and I think they need to be more intense. I saw the training. I was like, oh, they're going for the reps. I want to see them smash someone, dude. Just move the ball.
This week, but there was padded practice, man. That was the solution. That's what had to get changed. What are you telling me, Morkais? What are you telling me?
I'm actually not against that. Honestly, I know from your media background, you're like, oh, damn, that sucks. I just don't care anymore. I just honestly don't care. I just want to see him on the field. I just want to see him win.
But I don't think that's the only thing you can say. I think, I think that's coaching. Yeah. You coach under sixes and you can say, or Pee-wee football, you can say, yeah, we got to do tackling practice.
Here's an idea. Maybe there's a point that, do you think Tomlin is just maybe over the press conference? He's been doing it 17 years. Like, maybe he's just done with it. Maybe he's just like,
it kind of doesn't matter, because as I said to you, I can't believe we're back to press conferences, but it kind of doesn't matter because you are not talking just to reporters. You're talking to the fans and the players. And when you lose, it's like they're 2-2. We've got to remember they're not 0-4.
They win this week. They're 3-2.
They are 2-2. But when you lose convincingly 2 games, 30-7 and 30-6, it's not good enough. The mojo stuff with the media was kind of, it was funny for a little while, but actually it kind of now looks apathetic to the media. We talked about Canada and his media press conferences are terrible. It actually shows disrespect to the media. That's a big problem because media get coaches fired a lot of the time, not just performance on the field. They feel the fire, they feel the narrative. Now, a lot of media respect Tomlin to a point and what he's done. And so he he is lucky that he's got capital with the media. But if there's a losing season this year, we're going to hear about it all off season. If they start slow next year, maybe this is the end of that. Now, I don't think we're going to go down that because I think the team is going to pick it up in the second half of the year, or at least the rest of the season after the bye. But you are playing with fire when you start disrespecting the media, because that's your only channel to the fan base. And you know what else I'm sick of hearing about? When the fans vocal, I'm sick of hearing, man, we got the most passionate fans, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. You can't use that and deflect, because every time they say we've got the most passionate fans, they have a right to be upset, but it's starting to fall on deaf ears, or it starts to feel like that's disingenuous because nothing's ever done. Now, I'm also not seriously going to sit here and say every time a group of fans boo a coach or boo a player or don't like something has to change. That's ludicrous. Otherwise, we'd be changing everything every week. But I think Steelers fans have a right to be frustrated. I mean,
they do. I talked about the same thing. I understand the frustration, but I'm just overall seeing I'm just sick of seeing the words fire. Like, it's not going to happen this year. It just won't. No. So that's why we got to talk about the game
and someone brought up a good comment this week in one of the shows that I watched as well with other Steelers media, where they said Rooney hired Canada, not Tomlin. And if you actually look at what Tomlin says in the press conferences, he's not really defending Canada. He's just being careful not to bring extra heat on Canada or the organization.
And imagine if Tomlin did say how bad he hated Canada, how bad would it be? Terrible.
And Tomlin can't say that unless he knows that Canada can be fired. So he's kind of effed.
Really. Yeah. So, but I think getting back to the game too, because we know this has been I think about less 80% of my stuff that I've seen on Twitter is all about this crap, right? And it's frustrating,
and it's also ruining it as a fan. I feel like
that's why I made a video the other day talking about. I was more fun being a kid. You wake up,
I watched that. Do you know what I did? You know what I did? I know you hate it. This week, I mean, obviously I've been out with, for the last 6 weeks, I've been in wedding mode or, honeymoon mode and getting as much work as I can done, in my day job and also on the channel where I can fit things in. And now it's good to be able to getting more videos out and stuff like that for our fans, because we really want to grow the channel. Hit that sub button if you haven't already. But for me, this week, I've played a few games I was keen to just play some Madden, which I wasn't playing because I was so in the thick of things, but it's the only way I feel fun as a Steelers fan right now. It's just a crap game. But I just wanted to go out there. I wanted to get Pickett, and I wanted to throw a touchdown to Pickens and Freeman, right? Najee wasn't doing it for me with the line, so off he went. I've got Travis Etienne now running hard for me, right? But I wanted to feel. Your video inspired me in that, I wanted to feel. I actually had played the night before as well, but I just was like, you know what? I want to feel good about being a Steel fan. I want to think about the possibilities.
I think, it just feels a bit odd, because I think a lot of the Pittsburgh's, publications out there that we all follow, all the ones with the 25 beat writers and all these guys that we watch and get information from, it's talking about the fire. And I went back to it and thought, what did I do when I was a kid? Well, I didn't even know who the offensive coordinator was in 2002. I had no idea who it was.
Yeah.
You just watched the game. You just turned it on, watched the game. Now, I understand that we wouldn't be analytical, but it's just fun. You just turn on James Farrier, he got a sack, or if they let a big pass of 50 yards, and then we got an interception. You just saw the game play. And also, you know what? I don't know if we've spoken since then, but shout out the Texans, man. They played a good game.
Yeah, played a great game.
They played a good game. They took away, by the way, TJ Watt. You saw they did that? They chipped him on the edge with the tight end. They had the tackle taking away him. They even had the running back in there. And Sheeta Trail was running everywhere. So you got to give them credit. Then we always say, well, the Texans, they're a bad team. No, they're a pretty good team. Nico Collins burnt us. Their defense was on fire. They chased Kenny around. They deserve to win that game. I think we think we're the best sometimes, or in some aspects.
I don't want to bring this up. I'm going to share it on the thingo. I want to have a look at Baltimore, because they don't have the defense. They got a good defense, right? But they don't have the defense of San Francisco and Cleveland at the point that we played them. Now, I know we kind of said the same thing a little bit about Houston, but this game's not impossible to win. It really isn't. You look at this, average time per drive of 233. They've allowed 370 yards, so 4, divide that by 4, that's 92.5 yards. They've allowed 673 yards passing. Again, divide that by 4, you're basically like 170 yards. But Cleveland did nothing. So that's the problem. And, that Cleveland did nothing with Dorian Thompson. These numbers would be a lot higher had it been, Watson that was playing, for Cleveland. And then when I look at what the Steelers are averaging as well, like, I actually think this is a much closer opportunity for the Steelers than anything else. I mean, the Steelers right now, average drive is 211. The Steelers are averaging less than, they're averaging like not even 60 yards, per game rushing. And their pass yards at the moment are, abysmal there with Kenny Pickett's average of 200. So, I mean, not abysmal, but they could, they could be a lot better. So I actually think there's an opportunity against the Ravens this week.
Oh, and because it's also AFC North football, and we
rise to the occasion.
The team should play up to this point. Like everyone, they got embarrassed again. It's a familiar opponent, like Tomlin talks about. They know who they are. They know how Mar works. They know all this kind of stuff, right? So I think they can rise. And I think even when Najee came out and said too, I thought Najee was cool this week when he said it was the players play, coaches coach.
I know. And it's funny because often I'm actually the other way. I think coaches get an unfair piece. But without going back to the Canada stuff, there's some common denominators here, no matter who the players are. So either the coaching's poor or the scouting department is crap.
I think at this point we know the coaching's poor based on the 3 years and these stats of like being 20, 27, 28, right? Whatever it is, and then I think that's a fact right now. I think Najee is just saying what he has to say to try and ease the ship, and then we've got to play. And of course, we've got to play too, right? And then the 4th and 1 stuff was bad to see, but if you're not making the big plays and even if it is bad play calling, which it is, you still got to execute and do plays. So I thought Najee's response was pretty good. And even this game now, like you've got to go run someone over. We want to see that, like what you said, behind Darnell, behind Jones, move those guys and get Najee in space and start get Warren in space too. And I'm talking about running lanes. Like you don't see that.
No.
And we've been saying this for 3 or 4 years. So that can be a problem. I agree. But if we see a good game play out and we got a chance, like this team wins by 4 points, fan base will be very annoyed. And some will be happy, but I'll be happy because we're 3-2 into the bye in first place, which is crazy.
What my 2 X factors are for this game?
On offense or defense?
Overall.
I'm going to say Darnell is one of them. No. Is offensive line?
No.
Kenny Pickett's one of them?
No.
I give up.
Allen Robinson.
Okay. Yeah.
Safe. And I reckon Rodney Williams.
Oh,
now, I don't think he's going to have like 50 yards, or I don't necessarily think he's going to have 50 yards or a touchdown. He's going to make plays for the Steelers, man.
Yeah,
I'm actually really excited for him. Darnell, you know why? Darnell is an X factor in terms of the run game, but just the run game. I actually think that there was chemistry between him and Pickett. Darnell's going to have to really, I said this in the rookie show, I talked about them both, but Darnell is going to have to really make sure that he's focused on blocking. And Rodney is a big target for Kenny Pickett in the red zone and bigger than Haywood. I'd love to say it's Haywood, but I think Haywood's going to be more be told to be tasked with blocking in the run game. I think Rodney Williams, it might be a key third down. I don't know what it will be, but I feel like Rodney Williams, when we look back on this game, if the Steelers win, it'll be like, yeah, he made a big play.
Does he take Fryermuth's spot where he would normally play in the same position?
Yeah, and the receiving a lot of the routes. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so he plays there, then you'll have Darnold next to him.
Yeah,
that could be interesting because I think Fryermuth's been dropping the ball a little bit too, or they've been working him out, but like blocking wise, haven't been doing too well.
Yeah, but I mean these like screen sweep things with Fry. I mean,
not working, are they? What was it? The other one the other day, was a tight end screen, 2nd and 11 or something, and it went backwards. That was it. There was no room to move. Why does everything feel like it's a stand start? It's like catch it, then run. It's not on the way to running, is it? Yeah. It does feel, and they're not utilizing Austin well enough, nor they're using Haywood well enough either in getting him open too.
Well, he had those two. I mean, two of our listeners put that in the comments section. as well. Like there were 2 blatant misses to Hayward, and one of them was in the red zone. Like Kenny Pickett.
Oh yeah, and it's on Kenny as well. I'm not saying it's all not.
But as well, like when you're constantly going backward, I mean, that's the other thing that I don't understand too. People like, yes, Kenny was a first round draft pick, but Kenny wasn't a first 5 pick quarterback. And look at what how much Bryce Young is struggling right now. He's got an okay O-line, but he's got no one to throw it to. Kenny's got guys to throw it to. He's just got no one to give him time to throw it.
No time.
So, come on. Like Big Ben, who took hits from the biggest and the best that Ravens had to offer, even he was struggling in this offense to throw the football and had to throw it quickly. And he probably had more experience. He had better receivers. Like Kenny doesn't have Deontay. If Deontay was in this offense, they'd be doing better because of Deontay's quick release. As much as we give Deontay shit, I
like him.
I saw the thing where they want to get Bryce Young a number 1 wide receiver.
Ooh, trade.
Fucking get a Kwonu. Get fucking a Kwonu from the Panthers. I don't care how I score. Get fucking a Kwonu from the Panthers. Take him straight away. Get Derek Brown, their defensive tackle. Like, bring those 2 in. They'll fix straight away. Now, they wouldn't do that because of how key that offensive line piece is. But, I don't think some Steelers fans realize the impact of not having Deontay in this offense.
Yeah, he's good. I know the drops are there, but, man, he's just good. I like to watch him play.
He creates opportunities for Pickens.
Big time.
And when the run game's not working, you need every offensive weapon you can get. And I don't think we've been fully appreciative of that fact. So that's the other issue.
It's also you have a few good plays, and then we see the guy up north, Matt Canada, just do a whirly bird special. It's why did you make that play then and there? It was moving forward, and then you do that. So the play
also find interesting. If we still had Ben, Canada would have been fired by now because Ben after last year would have. Yeah, I still think this in the off season. I think Kenny stood up for Canada because he feels like. Remember, I talked about a few weeks back that Kenny's misplaced trust in Canada because Canada got him into Pittsburgh and Canada was there his first year and didn't want change and he's protected him. And I don't think he's realized the harm that's doing. I still think that's there to a degree, but. The one blessing I saw when I went to do the rookie report was Calvin Austin. They're actually working Calvin Austin in, and he's another one. I'm not going to call him an X factor in this because I think he's an X factor overall because I just think as an opposition, how do you scheme for this guy? But I don't think he's being used enough, and it doesn't surprise me because Canada said he didn't know how to use him. So I just...
what they need? They need a big, just a big play, a big, return on TD or something like that, like Calvin Austin TD to spark everyone up.
Yeah,
I know you play football to play football, but also at the same time, like I said in my other show before too, the other team plays as well. You know what I'm saying? We always talk about what our team guys can do, but the other team plays football too. So it's okay, we've got these guys. We should be winning. We should be 4-0. We should be 3-1. But it's the other team plays as well. So they want to win. They want to go hard. It's just that we don't turn up sometimes. It's very frustrating. I get that. But
that's a good segue. That's a good segue to the Ravens report. Now, everyone will be on there for the Steelers report over the next, and most Steelers fans listening to this Friday night, you probably know who's in and out. We've got another day of practice. I can tell you who Thursday practice, they didn't. Presley Harvin didn't practice. Daniels didn't practice. Freemuth didn't practice. Dan Moore didn't practice. We know Dan Moore's out. I don't know. I think James Daniels was maybe playing on. They were thinking he might play on Wednesday. I'm not sure. DeMarvin now was limited concussion. Maybe he might make it through the protocol. Maybe he might not. But more for the Ravens. Odell Beckham Jr. was limited. Justice Hill, their backup running back, was limited. Marlon Humphrey was limited. Moses, their tackle, was limited. He's got a shoulder complaint. That might make it hard for him to hold TJ Watt. Adafe Owe didn't practice. Darryl Worley, their backup safety, didn't practice. So, they've got a bunch of guys out potentially as well. And they've got a huge injury, challenges through the season so far. So I think you're right. We don't ever talk about what the other team are doing. But Rashad Bateman was full practice, but he had a hamstring complaint. A lot of hamstrings this year, which is interesting. But yeah, the Ravens, it's going to come down to the same old. It's Lamar. It's all about Lamar. And if you stop Lamar, and I actually think, apart from the fact we don't have Terrell Edmonds, the fact we've got Neal, the fact we've got Quan, and we've got Minka, and Minka can just be a missile against Lamar. I actually think we're really well matched up against Lamar.
Do you think as well TJ is going to be quiet again this I know it took him away last week, but I don't think he's quiet 2 weeks in a row. I think he'll find a way to get to the quarterback.
He could be quiet on the stat sheet, and Highsmith could have a day, but that means that he's not actually being quiet because he's having an influence with pressures, with the fact that they're having to double team him, all those good things. So I also have been, haven't had a chance to go back and fully watch it against Houston, but up until then, I'd been actually quite impressed with the pass rush from the inside linebackers down the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You might see a lot of pressure there from Holcomb and Roberts. I think A-Rob is a big deal this week. He has got to go back and watch every game that Vinny Vitovici played against the Ravens.
Yeah,
that's what he's got to do this week.
We're missing guys like him, aren't we?
Yeah,
guys like really go after it. But it's what to me it's like it's still early days, still finding their feet. I just think if we would have lost maybe 27-24 against Houston Texans, like a good game, we'd have been like, oh, we did well enough, but we suck.
Yeah.
But this one feels like it's burned their house down completely and start again. That's
the thing is, if we win this game, we only have to go 7 for 12 the rest of the year.
Well, we're in first
to make
place.
The playoffs. I don't think you need 10 wins to make the playoffs.
But it's like, and you look at the AFC North, and no one's talking about the Bengals struggling. They're 1-3.
That's the thing. And that's the thing. We haven't even played them yet. So if we can beat the Ravens this time, we're 2-0 in the division.
Mm-hmm. It's really early days. I really feel like, I don't know if this makes any sense, but I really feel like it's like we're doing a whole yearly perspective each day we talk about the Steelers. That makes sense?
I think that's the thing. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think Steelers fans and the media and everyone, because of there's been limited success for over a decade, I feel like everything has the utmost importance all the time. And it's kind of almost like a dictatorship communist society where it's like everything's an existential threat to the Steelers. And it's not actually like that. Sometimes you got to take your lumps.
It's not expanded over a long time of like, oh, things can work out. It's and like, oh,
and
Tomlin sneezed and then we're going to lose.
Yeah. And we all hated when the bye was. I actually look at it now and go, the bye couldn't have come at a better time.
No, they definitely need that to have.
We need the bye to reset. We need the bye to get a few key guys back from injury. We probably need a bye to work out who do we need to bring in. I think they're going to have to bring in 1 or 2 guys before the trade deadline. I don't.
What happened last year with the bye too? 2-6, and then after that we won 7-2.
Yeah.
So it's a very funny time at the moment. It really is because. Yeah, it does feel like the content everyone's doing around the internet now is like everything's packed. Or our analysis is the yearly preview in 1 week, every week. Yeah. Like it's like, oh, we're terrible, we suck, we're not going to play playoffs. Oh, we win. Will the Steelers is Kenny Pro Bowl? Oh, we lose again. Oh, we suck.
But I also think it's fair in that we sometimes, as Steelers fans, I think sometimes we've been always like, oh, it'll fix up down the stretch, and then things are still 50-50 and they just miss the playoffs or they just make the playoffs. I think the Steelers have to be convincing in victories and almost earn back the trust from the fans.
I get that because I talked about it on my show today too. I was like, we want to be like the Chiefs where you just like you can win games, or Bills where you can win games.
And we haven't felt like that since 2017, 2018.
No. And remember with like, Antonio Brown and Big Ben, you're like, oh, I can score 45 points with the Colts. Or you go back to back, 6 TDs, and it doesn't happen anymore. It doesn't happen. So I understand that aspect because we're not like that. It's right now, it's like we either lose by a lot or we win by 3. And back in the day, it was like, oh, we had a really convincing argument on offense, or like it was consistency overall. It was building upon games, and this doesn't happen anymore.
So let's do something odd. You and I both wanted to do a show for fans that actually talked about the Steelers versus Ravens game. We have talked a lot about that.
I think we've done it.
We'll get back to that. But let's look ahead. Let's do something different. Let's look ahead. I want to go through really quickly, and let's quickly see how we think the Steelers are going to fall. Like, do you think they win this week?
No. No, I don't think so.
All right. I actually reckon some freaking way they do. And that is, I don't know how, but they do. And it's because of the defense. But anyway, right. So let's look at that after the bye. Do you think they can beat the Rams?
It depends to me how they adjust. If things are moved around, players moved around, Deontay comes back.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
I'm
I'm
gonna
really
say
hopeful.
no too. I don't think it will matter. I just think that the traveling after the bye, I think that'll be too hard.
It all depends. I think the team is just in all sorts at the moment. They really are. They're in all sorts.
Because then they've got 3 games at home. Do you think they can beat the Jags at home?
If you've done 2 bad games in a row, the bye is still at time, you'd have to say yes. There has to be a win. Like that's the nut up or shut
Yeah,
up. Like, that's it right there.
one. Yeah,
They can win that one. I'd say yes.
What about the Titans?
I'd say yes because that's a Thursday night game, Friday for us. I'd say they're going to get up for that game. This is the time where they start to amp up. I'd say yes.
Green Bay at home?
Yeah, I can say they can win that one. Let's go 3 in a row.
Away at Cleveland?
Ooh, depends who they're playing. They're averaging like on the passing like 100 yards a game. No, sorry, like 120 and rushing like 60 yards per game.
Yeah, they're bad. They're going to do really bad this year.
No,
and that's going to be really good for everyone else with the trade. Like that's going to be good for Houston.
No, I mean their defense. Their defense is allowing 100 and something yards.
Yeah. I know, but
their offense.
Like,
did you see that one play that Watson threw the ball back like 50 yards? Or something? Yeah, that's like what the hell. And also, he's not even playing. He's out. Like DTR's playing. So, I forgot. It depends if Watson's in or out. But I'm going to say no for that one.
They lose or they win?
Oh, they lose.
Really? Okay. Like, what about Bengals?
Oh, we can win that game. I think they're worse than us. They're falling to pieces. And if they do get back together, I still think there are a lot of problems in that team. I think. Depends who's playing. Yes.
And New England Patriots?
Oh yeah, they're worse than us.
Colts away?
Depends if they're in playoff mode. I'm gonna say no.
As in, we don't beat them?
No, the Colts win.
All right, so you got 4 losses. Bengals at home?
Yes, 100%. That's the only game I care about this year. It's my birthday. Yes, that's my analysis.
Seattle Seahawks?
No.
Baltimore Ravens away?
No.
So you have them 5 to 6 losses from the next 13 games.
Oh, it's a losing season. No, it's 8. No, it's 8.
That's 9 and 8. It's 9 and 8. Yeah.
There we go. That's a winning season. Let's go, Tomlin. Woohoo! Oh, but Mark, standard. We want Super Bowls. Do you know how hard it is to win a game? A Super Bowl. Spare me.
I still think there's a path to 10 victories, but it looks harder.
It's the more you look at it, like the Cardinals could be terrible, Tennessee could be on a roll, Bengals could be good.
Green Bay, I rate Green Bay. Like they just can't seem to get it done. But
it's still a very long season. That's why it's so hard to predict any football games. Like right now, the Bears are up by 1,000, and the Bears haven't won a game yet. So as we watch on our Thursday night football, it's dude, it's very hard to predict, but. You don't know who's going to be. You don't know if the Ravens going to have Lamar Jackson.
Maybe by then we'll have traded Pickett for Justin Fields.
Yeah. Trade away Pickett, TJ, Minka to get the first round pick. That could be a thing. So I think just take it game by game. And I'm at the point now, like even with the arguments of fire these people, I don't care. Like I want Canada fired, but I'm not saying it anymore. How many times do you need to say? You're going to wear your thumbs out and say with Tomlin, like they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Like there's no more argument. Like
we're just putting CO2 out there. You're just polluting the atmosphere.
Just think about what guys can play. Like, do we see Fahoko play this week? Leal's going to be out. Do we see the fellas in the middle step up? We want to see Quan Alexander have a big game. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to see these guys play. And do we see some good coverage from JPJ getting good snaps? Like, there's a lot to be positive and then actually look at the game as an actual game than just the coaching. Coaching stuff's there. We know that. We know Steel Nation wants them fired. We hear you. We know. Everyone knows it, right? It's like, let's look at stuff. Can we stop Lamar Jackson where he's 1-2 against us?
So before we wrap up, I completely agree with all that. Before we wrap up, because that's a good point. Can we stop Lamar Jackson? Do you have any level of predictions for this game, or what do the Steelers need to do to win the game?
I'm very hopeful that they can win, but I think the way we're playing, I think we lose. If we play the same way, we're going to lose.
So what's the one? If you can wave a magic wand, or you can use an attribute point on Madden or whatever game you're playing that you can influence the one thing. One thing for the Steelers. What are you going? What would it be?
It's getting to that second level, like getting Najee in the second level behind the line, and getting to the middle linebackers by using the guards, the tackles, the tight ends, the fullback, whoever. It's getting him to second level and getting 6 and 3, 2 and 3. What's a 6 and 3?
I think as well. That's what frustrates me both in the pass and the run game. The Steelers invested so much in the interior offensive line, and Daniels and Cole, but Daniels was out last week. Cole is going backwards into Kenny. Everything that we didn't like about Kendrick Green, it's the same shit. No, but it is. It's the same shit. And it's frustrating because the Steelers spent something like $13 million plus this offseason trying to fix the interior offensive line. They have a quarterback that needs to benefit from the interior offensive line, and it's gotten worse.
I'll tell you what I like to see, not a run that starts in shotgun with the receiver going across to the tight end, standing there and going 1-2 hut, and then going right dive, halfback dive. That's the same running play we have all the time. It seems like they move the receiver in motion. They have a Najee in shotgun where for some reason you're starting him in shotgun. Why aren't you starting him from a running start in the I formation behind a fullback or leading someone with a block? It always seems to be the same running schemes, whatever they are. They're always in half in a shotgun motion. And then if Kenny holds it, they do a short slant pass. Like, this is what I see is going to happen. They're going to run shotgun, 1st and 10, 2 and 8. They're then going to do a screen pass to the tight end, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, or 3rd and 5. Right? They're going to go out wide and invert and four receivers, and then whoever's going to be Allen Robinson's going to cut left to a slant. It's going to be incomplete, or it's going to be short to 4th and 2. And that's what we see. It's always short stuff. Canada's offense, what I see, is predictable, and it's also very safe. They're always going for, we want to get Mandelwood downs. They never seem to go beyond the sticks and have plans to get beyond the sticks.
Yeah, they're too afraid of making a mistake. Yeah,
so they run safe. They run with Najee. Doesn't work. You can have the debate between Najee and Warren and who's better, but overall, it's just the play calling. It's the push. Like you said, James Daniels and Cole, they're off the line. They're big fellas, but they're losing the battle every time.
They're going backwards. I'm sick of seeing Cole on the press conferences on Steelers media too. Like, he needs to focus on the playing, not the press conferences. The other one I want to say, I like him. I like the attitude. I like that he brings swag to the locker room. But Pat P is not a number one corner in this league anymore.
Well, I think the Steelers thought he could be, and now they're probably slowly realizing that he can't. But he's good if they have some. Might have been different with maybe Corey Trice and JPJ out there.
That's it. You hit the nail on the head. I was thinking about that Wednesday night because I was using Trice in Madden, and I was looking at some stats with the defensive backs, and I went and looked at Trice's last year at Purdue, and I was like, they had something in Trice, and they still do, but they had something in Trice, and I think that which would change the way they played this season with the safeties and everything like that, and it would have meant that Pat P could have played safety, not at corner. They could have played JPJ in press. I think that is an injury that if we look back on in 2 or 3 years' time, we're like, that stuffed the Steelers up big time in 2023.
Well, even just having 2 young blokes in the field or 2 guys, learn that position, and also Pat P can not have to be so dependable because he's getting picked on. And there's always seems to be in the big games that Devontae Adams, had a big, was always one receiver that kills us. So there's Nico Watsy or the Debo dude or whoever, Brandon Ayuk, they just can't contain. I think we're leading, we're 27th in the league for 260 yards per game in the air, average. So
maybe they should trade Chooks for, move Dan Moore to right, tackle when he's back. Trade Chooks for still out west will be like Matty trading more people again. But trade Chooks for Mike Hilton.
Well, that's they talk about
Come and stop the run.
They talk about when Sutton got away from us too, right? Because Sutton's with the Lions now.
Sutton wasn't worth the contract. If they had paid what Detroit paid Sutton, I would have been pissed off.
Yeah, but they still, they also talk about when you brought up with Edmonds too, right? Because the players have left and they're going well, but. I think these things can be fixable, though. You just can't let.
I don't know. I think they lack speed with the DBs. I think that they're a problem, and I think Minka is playing way too close to the line because Neal's not good enough. That's my other.
Well, who's our third? Third is JPJ, then 4th is James Pierre, right?
Yeah.
So it's like Peterson, Levi Wallace getting burnt. They're both getting burnt.
Oh, well, you got Shannon Sullivan in there for slot, though, remember? And then now you got Desmond King. That's the
I
other
think
thing. You
he's
might
gonna
see.
set up
I
too.
actually think you might see a lot of Desmond King this game.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw an article about it as well. I think he might be coming into it as well.
Yeah.
So these things can be correctable, but it just from what I see now, if I get a score prediction from the question 5 minutes ago, I think Ravens win like 20. I got 20, 29. I don't know, 29-17, something like that. I think they win.
Yeah, right.
But I'm hopeful the Steelers. Oh, Mark's a Ravens supporter. No, I hope we win, dude. I hope we smash them and hope we like. But I think no one wins. If we win or lose, everyone's going to be angry. It doesn't matter. So
I think it's going to be something like 2016 or 22-18 or something like that.
Steelers?
The Steelers will only be on the front end if they have a massive play from the defense that either results in a score or gets them really good field position. And it's possible. I just also it will depend. Like I see a world where Lamar Jackson gets creamed in the first half and doesn't play the second half. So
if Baltimore is up like 16-3, it's that kind of game in the third quarter, we're toast. We don't do anything to come back. They never do.
If they do that, if they're up by that much, people will hate me for saying this, but you rest TJ and Alex Highsmith and you put Golden and Herbig out there, you rest Benton, you take JPJ off the field, and you give guys a rest at this point because you get you got nothing to gain from it. Nothing.
But the thing is, like, it's not even up by that much. If it's like 2 quarters to go, it's only 2.
They can't chase. They can't chase.
They can't chase points.
They can't chase 14 points.
How bad's that at the moment, isn't it?
They can chase 9. I think they can chase 9 or 10. They can't chase 14.
We need to be in front and then try and like the game with when we were up by like 11 points, and then the Vegas game up by a lot, right? And they came back because of the call with Minka and stuff. That should have been a good game to feel good. We would have felt all right, you know. And also, like, everyone talks about, and I'm going to end the show soon, but everyone talks about, like, the offense, but the Steelers' defense wasn't gassed in the first drive against Houston, and they cooked them. Absolutely cooked them all the way down the field. Yes, there was a bad penalty here for sure, Minka again, but they went all the way down the field, 70 yards, scored a TD, 7-0. You can't let it happen. Like, you just can't. So, and that wasn't like, the defensive, like, defense gas, too much time. No, that was their first drive. And there's a lot of there's a lot to fix. But at the end of the day, we cheer them on, we support them, we see what happens, and then I don't think this game is like if the Steelers win, it's not a fix it game. It's like Steelers win, it feels good to be in first place, but you'd have to then back it up. This is a game though.
It's like Houston when I said last week. That's a game you want to win. I said it in your live chat for a Steelers Oz video. Last week was a game you want to win because it could affect your chance at the playoffs and playoff seeding down the stretch. I actually think Houston, though, is going to be a better team than what a lot of people realize. So maybe it won't have as much of an impact. But this is the same thing. If you win this game, you go 2-0 in the North. You give yourself the ability to go 4-2, and you only have to win 2 of your other 4 games, and you've got a still shot at the North. You lose this game at home to the Ravens. You make the last game of the season really, really, really important. And even though the Steelers have done well in Baltimore, you can't set yourself up with that heavier task. It's too hard.
I got one more question for you. What do you think the Steelers have to do to get the fan base back on their side?
I don't even know if it's winning this game. Like, you're going to hear the cranky fans always. Like, that is what this fan base is. But play a game and walk and with enough pride that as a fan you walk away and you go, you know what, they just got beat by a better team. I think that's the hardest thing about the loss on the weekend. I don't think they got beat by a better team. I think they got beat by a better coached and schemed team, particularly with what that offensive line did for Houston. They got beat by a much better team in the 49ers week 1, and they weren't ready for that because they hadn't had a tough preseason game. They beat a Cleveland Browns team off their own talent. And by another team's mistakes, fine. We've lost games because of our mistakes, so I think that's fair. They beat a Raiders team they should have beaten. It was nice that they won on the road out west. That was good. But I've said for a million years that Kenny Pickett's going to be good in stadium, so that's also a good thing when we play the Colts later on in the year. But I just want this. As a fan, all I want is even if we lose, is to walk off and go, you know what? I see something for the rest of the year. Like, this is good. Like, if they lose by 2 points, they lose by 2 points. Even if they win, I don't want them to win. Of course, I shouldn't say that. Of course I want them to win. But if they win because they've had 2 defensive scores in Canada, that the offense is still crap, or because Lamar Jackson fumbled it in the end zone and Holcomb pounced on it or something like that, I don't feel different about the team. I just feel, okay, I feel like you're lucky. Like, you're lucky to be here. Like, you kind of got saved by the lifesaver in the surf. You're lucky to be here, right? But you need a little bit of luck. And as I said, if you can be 3-2 going into the bye after what we've seen this season, you go buy a lottery ticket if you're Mike Tomlin at that point, right?
I agree with all that. I reckon it's like, to get back the fan base or to be feeling good about the season and in the good projection, I think it's back-to-back wins. It's a sneak away with a win this week and then get a good victory versus the Rams to go 4-2, and promising signs on the offense with like moving the ball.
The thing is, if they go 4-2, they play 3 games at home. If they win 2 or 3 of those, suddenly they're 6-2 or 7-2. They've only got to win 3 more games.
Yeah, but we just need promising signs, and that's why this point is like 2-2.
Now they've got to hit it. It's if they can't hit it now or straight after the bye, it's it could be a losing season. But anyway, Steel fans, we hope you get pumped up. I hope you like the show today. We are premiering it. Mark's got some work. I've got to drop my car to the mechanic, but I will try and be in the live chat for you as well. I think Mark and I will both try and be when we can.
I'll be there. I'll be there because I'm working late. I'll be there.
But yeah, we should be there both in the live chat. Looking to interact with you guys.
Wait, it's already over. It's already over. It's on at the end.
Huh?
What? When we premiere, it's already over. Like, we were in the live chat. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, we were in the live. Yeah, that's true.
Thanks, guys.
Classic. Mark, as always.
Well, that's why we're the best, man. All right, go Steelers. Here we go. Let's go.